Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Hermitcraft. I've got something cool to show you involving scaffolding. I recorded it during a time-lapse, and I tell you what, this manual bamboo farm ain't so bad. You just get so much of this stuff. It's, 6 bamboo and 1 string to get yourself 6 stacks of scaffolding. So this stuff is super easy to craft in bulk. And I actually really like using the manual farm for once. It reminds me of chopping down trees. That's something that I like to do manually in this game. Which also reminds me that on the second channel I made a list of farms and then put them in order. If you watch Mumbo Jumbo's channel, you'll have seen he's done the same thing. It's actually the same world. Mumbo sent me the world. I wanted to do this tier list thing where you talk about all the different farms in the game and then go through them and rate them, basically, and put them in order. And if you want to see that, it's on my second channel. There'll be a link in the description box down below. And basically, I commented that the thing about tree farms is, although they can be done in many different ways, you can use TNT and all of that stuff, I do actually really enjoy just chopping down trees with my axe. And I enjoy doing this with the bamboo as well. Here's a pro tip though. If I press F3 and B, I can hop around and make sure I clearly see all of the items and pick them up again. The only issue with this farm is that it is a little tricky to walk around. If you could walk through this stuff like sugarcane, then it would be absolutely fantastic, right? My inventory will fill up in no time using this farm. But anyway, as we start recording this episode, the last episode and the one before it haven't even gone out yet. Now, there was a time back in the day on YouTube, many years ago, when I used to always have, like, a week's worth of videos lined up at a time, and that was because I was always worried about getting sick and then not being able to make videos, and so I wanted to make sure that they were always coming out, and that time has sort of disappeared now. I tend to do things with pretty much like the video that you're watching is the one that I've just recorded for the most part, so my inventory filled up with bamboo. Anyway, this week things are a little different. 1.14.2 came out, so I pushed back my episode of Hermitcraft, and then as we're recording the next episode, I realized that I had 3 days off in a row and I would have very little time to produce the next episode, so I decided to space them out a little bit, and so for that reason it feels strange to be in this situation once again where I'm recording an episode knowing that you haven't seen the last 2. That's crazy. That hasn't happened for years. But it's no big deal really, and we have got more than enough bamboo for what I want to do right now, but I'm just going to finish harvesting the farm. Oh, and as you can see, some of the drops land on the scaffolding, so you always have to climb up to the next level to get all of the drops. That is so satisfying. And when you've reached the top floor and you feel like doing no more, just fly down to the bottom. It's the quickest way. Oh, and these barrels are a blessing, really, because we're just going to leave this stuff here. I don't want to lug it all the way back to my base every single time I finish harvesting the farm, right? Okay, then. I've got all of my things together, and now I'm going to show you a time-lapse, and then we're going to talk about what you see in the time-lapse. So the eye in the sky cameras weren't really all that for the time lapse. I mean, I was streaming at the time, so I couldn't actually see what I was recording on my other monitor. And that's one of the things you do in time lapses. You try and figure out what's the best angle to show this from. The first one was alright, the second one not so much. But anyway, like we did with this tower here, we're building some anticipation of what's to come by building up these massive scaffolding frames around where our skyscrapers are actually going to go. And I really love this, and putting it all together is actually pretty simple as well. Let's find another base and do one together. Let's go with this one here. I've got to say, I absolutely love the scaffolding block. I think this is possibly one of the best additions. They're really great for building. I still think there's one or two tweaks that they could do with to make them a little bit better, but once you get used to using them, they are absolutely fantastic. Now, the first thing we've got to establish is how tall this is going to be. That one over there is 64 blocks, so to keep some diversity, I think we're going to go with the same number again because the base here starts lower. This one is actually the same layout as that one over there, I do believe, so I'm basically going to copy the format that I've already done. So I start off just by right-clicking on this until we've exhausted all 64 of them. So, looking pretty good. You may notice though that one column is missing, and that's part of the plan really. Let's go and craft up the next bunch that we're going to use. So, what we now want to do is create these framing bits that go across in intervals, and I'm actually going to wait until night passes before I start this. Okay then, so here's how we're going to do it. We're going to go over to this one that we've missed, and we're going to go up just by 12 this time. Then I'm going to switch to my stack of scaffolding so I can keep the count for the other ones. Now when we're standing on top of it, it's slightly different. It will now place out to the side like that. And then we can go ahead and just place these all the way through. It's really awesome. Very easy to do, right? And then to break it all down, you just got to break the blocks at the bottom. This stuff is absolutely fantastic. It's super cheap as well. It's kind of really easy to get your hands on. To some extent, you do have to build a spider farm, but I was thinking, you know, you've got cave spider spawners, and you got the regular dungeon ones. They're not too difficult to come by, and then once you've found some bamboo, it's extremely easy to farm lots of it without even having to use any redstone. So this stuff is totally doable, what I'm doing right here. You know, it doesn't take a lot of resources. Now when it comes to putting this next one on again, I can do it two ways, I believe. I can go down to the lower level here, look at the side and right click, yep, or I can hold down shift and then click on top of it, like that. So those are two ways to do the next lot. And again, we're going up by 12, and then I'm going to go around and fill in another frame. Now that we're at the top level, you'll see that the 12 that I decided on didn't quite divide into the 64, so I'm just going to break these ones up the top here. And I'm not so bothered if they fall off to the side because they're super duper cheap. Do you know what I really love about this though, is how it gives this sense of what's to come, right? Like this is telling you that these spaces are going to be filled up by giant structures, and it makes the Minecraft world feel even more lived in, especially in a more organic sense, because these things aren't going to be left here forever, right? So we've got one more in this area now. Let's fly away and see how this looks. Oh man, this is crazy. It really gives you a sense of what this project might feel like when it's finished, right? And that's all I'm going to do for now. As I said earlier, I'm going to be pressed for time. I've got 3 days off in a row, and I have something in mind we're going to be doing for this episode. And that is obtaining a single item with the purpose of making a banner. This is a new item in 1.14, by the way. The banner is going to be for this portal over here. This takes you to the spawn chunks. It doesn't have a big and glamorous tunnel like this one that takes you to the end dimension, because the portal literally needs to be right around here. So on a live stream I nestled it into the wall there. That goes to the spawn chunks, and I really want to create a banner for it because most of the portals have banners. There is a couple more banners I will one day make down in this hallway, as we have a couple more portals. Is this the correct one? Yes, it is. So this takes us to the passive animal and hostile mob farm project that we have been working on, and then off in the distance behind it there is actually an ice farm, and it's pretty much in a straight line along from here. Another 50 or so blocks we could put a portal back there, so that'll be a tunnel to those two locations, and maybe a third, because we are going to visit a village. Now my original plan was to pick one where we could swim across the ocean, so let me get a map on the screen for you. So this village right here isn't too far away from our island, which is this location here that purple chunk in the middle is the slime chunk in which we've actually built our farm. So I was thinking I could get a couple of villagers into boats and make the short trip across here. It's probably about 1,500 blocks, but the fact that you go over the ocean just makes it nice and peaceful. Don't have to deal with any portals or pushing villagers through them. But then I realised I'm only after one item at the moment. So that means all I really need to do is just visit the place and get the thing that I need, because I only need it once. And this is going to be our portal to the ice farm. I've moved it over. It's in a straight tunnel all the way from our hostile passive mob farm one. And I tell you what's been really, really helpful here is this. Coordinates. We've put this pack onto the Hermitcraft server now. And it's a data pack that's available on Vanilla Tweaks. I did a video about it on my second channel. It puts coordinates, what direction you're facing, and the time onto the little thing above the hotbar there. Now you can get all of this information from pressing F3, but whenever you do that, it's always so awful to concentrate on what you want to see with all this text on the screen. So it simplifies it down to one single bar, which is fantastic. So the other portal was further in that direction. I don't know if it's going to synchronize, but it has been removed. So let's turn that off and let's hop through. And this means no, it's basically too far away. Okay. All three of them have decided to stand on my ender chest as I'm about to... Four of them want to stand on the ender chest. Well, I've never seen that before. The tunnel will have to turn the corner at the bottom here, and it'll then take us to our ice farm. What I'm going to do is simply fly from here over to the village. Now we are somewhere around here. And if I zoom out, you'll see that this village is a little bit closer than the original one. So we're going to fly to the one in the desert. Or that one's probably even closer still. And like we would do with the F3 screen, I can use the coordinates HUD to just help me get there a little quicker. That thing is fantastic. And so now I need to craft myself a cartographer's table and find a villager without a trade. Or just find a cartographer that's already here. You're a nitwit, aren't you? I can tell by that green coat. Yeah, you don't do anything. All of the villagers here don't have trades. I think this village was actually... Oh, now that I think about it, yeah, look. Oh, this is kind of boring. I want to go to a 1.14 village, you know. This is a 1.13 village. Ooh, I think we're now in 1.14 territory here, and this was 1.13. Look at that. Are we going to see a chunk border? Yes we are. Hey, that's my bed, buddy. I'm supposed to be sleeping in here. Jeez. Hang on a minute, they can get in the bed before I even can. There is a reason I brought sugarcane with me. It is to make a cartographer's table and trade with a cartographer. So, who wants to be the one? Did you all... No, your skin didn't just change. What are you? You're a nitwit. Yes, you. You right, let's put you in a hole, quickly. So you can't escape. Okay, there's sand there. Yep, in the hole. Excellent. That's just where we want you. So we're going to need several things to trade with this villager. One of those is emeralds, and I don't think I've really gotten any emeralds from anything other than caving, right? So this is all of my emerald stash right here. There'll also be a glass pane trade, and we'll need to make some compasses. The other main thing is the classic paper trade, which is why I brought all of this with me. And we're leveling you up, aren't we? To the next level. Unlock trades. Aha, there we go. There's those glass panes. Okay, nice and straightforward. Leveling you up once again. Will it be 5 trades again? Look at that. Maybe just 2? Okay, this is really, really easy. And already the prices are going down. You are an expert. We need you to be a master. I am going to buy some banners from you. 2, 3, 4. Wow, this is super easy. I had a feeling it might have been a bit of a grind, but no, trading with this guy's been pleasant. And there it is, the globe banner pattern. That is what I am here for. Job done. See you later, my friend. Oh, that's fantastic. So the trade is locked out. I figured, why don't I get a few more of these? Maybe some of the other hermits would be interested in it. Perhaps we'll put it in a shop. I do plan on making another one for some 1.14 stuff. Anyway, it's time for me to leave this area. I think I might find myself needing a new backpack container. Maybe I'll take the one that I keep rockets in and share it with all of these new blocks that we have in 1.14 because I need to make a loom, and there's going to be lots of other jobs where you used to use a crafting table to make this stuff, but now you've got to use a specific block instead as well, which means you need more space to carry these things around with you if you want to make them useful. Now, I've decided on the design. It's going to be pretty straightforward, but we're going to try and add in some detail just because that's going to be available to us. So the loom block will allow us to do things a little different than usual. As you can see here, we can select from a menu. That's going to be our first selection. I like the preview over here. I wish that were a little bit bigger though. That would be cool. And I think we can still clone banners this way, right? Let's check. Yes, we can. So we're now going to use a light blue fade going up and downwards. By the way, this totally threw me off a second ago, but the white is the area you want to focus on. I've been looking at these fades down here like it's where the black is, so I expected the blue to come from the bottom. So that is actually the blue coming from the bottom, which is what we want. Okay, and now we can use the globe pattern, and I think that looks really, really cool, but you'd expect it to be green, and with regular green it's not so great, but with lime it's a little bit brighter. Because that's what you'd expect it to be, that's what I think I'm going to go with, right? We've got the green of the land, the blue of the ocean. We're now able to clone this, and then either side of the portal, yeah, that looks pretty superb. So we shall be renaming this to Backpack 2. As I've said many times during my live streams, I probably don't say it much here on my videos, but my opinion on what needs to be updated in Minecraft is inventory space and how we use blocks and items. I really think the game needs a big overhaul there because of the amount of items. Look at this crazy storage system right here. And 1.14 has just added a whole bunch more, and I've gone crazy ham overboard using up all of my woods and resources to craft a stack of everything. Now you might think that's a little bit over the top for something like the cartography table, but let me remind you that this can be used for aesthetics as well. So in building, you might want to take advantage of these glorious new textures. I'm now wondering what the underside of this block looks like. That's pretty much very close to dark oak or spruce planks, so probably not so useful on that side, but yeah, the textures is what it's all about. So I figured, craft a stack of each now, and whenever I'm inspired and I'm building, I don't have to worry about the materials, right? Also, let's get some light around here, a stack of these. Oh, I'm having fun playing with these new blocks. So composters are pretty interesting. You could make a farm out of this for bone meal, but it wouldn't be very effective. However, it kind of looks a little bit like a tree trunk. And just like that, we now have ourselves a slightly unfinished exotic palm tree in here. I don't know why I'm finishing this off, actually, because I'm going to take it all down in a moment. But yeah, it kind of looks like a tree texture, right? So anyways, we have the blast furnace. The fletching table. This one's probably the least likely to be used for aesthetics as the details are very specific, so you'll need to use it in a specific situation. We've already used the smithing table for its glorious top texture right here as a floor material. We've got the smoker as well, which can probably help make some cobblestone walls put together with droppers and whatnot, make a little more interesting. Then there is the loom. Of course, we've seen the scaffolding plenty of times this episode. The Stonecutter, I think they missed a trick here. I really think this should damage entities when you stand on top of it. I also like that it's animated, that's kind of cool. And then of course we've got the grindstone. Now there is also the bell, but it doesn't have a crafting recipe. I forgot about that. The only way to get the bell is to actually go to villages and find them and scavenge them that way. So they're going to be a lot rarer. The other thing that I haven't made, well I've made one now but not a stack of, is the lectern. This is going to take a lot of leather because it needs one bookshelf to make, but that is a really nice detail block. That is definitely going to go in the church over in the 1.14 area. But when our passive mob farm is finished, we'll have loads of leather and we'll be able to get a stack of those. By the way, it is possible to make more of these banner patterns than the one I have just obtained. You can use the Oxide Daisy. If I make a banner and grab some dye, I can show you what one this is. Flower Charge, that's the one right there, so it creates that shape. And there are a few others as well. There's one that uses a creeper head, which is probably going to be very difficult to get hold of, although we do have the trident. An enchanted golden apple, I used my last one a while ago. I have regular ones, but not the enchanted one. And then there is the Wither Skull. Now, I could get a Wither Skull from Iskall, but I think I might propose something to him, because I have something that might make his farm even more efficient. and it is in this chest. I mean, you can probably do the math right there, but these wither roses might be very valuable to Iskall, so I'll have to shoot him a message, and then maybe I can get a skull, and I can make another one of these patterns, which I need to store somewhere, and I'll probably next need them on the go. Oh, I think they're just adding in too many items, you know what I mean? Now some of the recipes have been moved into items, so what I'm probably going to do is store them in the backpack along with the loom. Coming back to where we started this episode, we're in Tower Bay, and I've just finished putting this one together. I think I want to make one of them intentionally smaller than all the rest. That's going to be this one right here, which has the smallest of platforms, so it's going to be a skinny and slim building. And then we just have the Concorp towers over here, and I'm not actually going to put in the scaffolding for that, because I'll leave that up to Scar and Cub and whatever it is they want to do with that. So that's all of the other platforms now with scaffolding on top of them. So I have a question for you, but we're wrapping up the episode here. So first of all, I'll say if you've enjoyed it, then leave a like. As always, thank you for the support on this channel. And the question is, do you think Minecraft's inventory system needs addressing? There are more and more items added with every update, and it just feels like you end up carrying around so many more shulker boxes and items, and it all becomes a little bit hairy to manage. I think there needs to be some sort of change in the future. What do you think? Let me know in a comment down below, and I'll see you soon in the next episode. Bye bye.